Hi everyone from the Shiatsu Centre. Here's Kat. She's going to be looking after the chat today. I hope you're doing okay, and if you're not, we're going to find out very soon because we're going to do our usual polls, find out how you are, and then we're going to go through the class as usual. So looking forward to a lovely sunny day. Sun's coming through the window. I always like that. Okay, great. So let's find out a little bit about how you're doing. We'll ask you the first question is just how are you coping? We're sort of coming out of lockdown now, and there's probably even new stresses, aren't there? You're coming out and you're having to put the mask on and stuff like that. So let's just find out how you are, and then I'd like to do an exercise with you, and we'll find out what we can do today. Okay, there we go. A bit of a change in the graph today. So we definitely want to help those people that are feeling stressed or very stressed today. And let's get those of you who are feeling a bit neutral and a bit okay into the feeling much better category. Okay, remember the zones, the 3 zones. I'll just remind you of what they look like. The 3 zones of the nervous system. So let's just check in, see whether you feel kind of in the green zone, whether you feel pretty much in the present and grounded, or whether you're edging up into that red zone where you're feeling a little bit frustrated or anxious. And then those of you who might be going into the more free state of feeling a bit more kind of helpless and depressed. And that's what we really want to try and avoid. We want to try and get you down into the red zone and down into the green zone. We've got lots of things we can do for that. So let's just find out which zone you think you're in today, and we'll get an idea of how we can tweak the exercises for you. So you might have a mixture of green and red, or a mixture of red and blue, depending on whether you might be moving from one to the other. Okay, but okay, right. So there we are. You see, there's actually quite a lot to work on, isn't there, today? We want to make sure that we can get you out of that. Those of you who are nudging into that blue zone, get you back into the red zone, and then try and get you down to the red and green. Red and green is okay because in a way you need that adrenal and that nervous system response to get things done sometimes, to kind of energize you, but as long as you don't get too stuck there. Okay, so this is an exercise that we did a few weeks ago, and I'd just like to check in again with you on this. So what I'd like you to do is just sit or stand, okay, and we're just going to close our eyes for a moment, and we're going to tune into our body. So just tuning into our whole body with our eyes closed, just tuning, seeing how you're feeling. And we're keeping the breath nice and easy, nice and relaxed and normal. Okay, so you've got a sense of that, just following your breath coming in and out. Okay, so let's just take 2 or 3 deep breaths and see what happens. Okay, so I'd like you to take a deep breath in. Okay, and just want you to watch where that breath goes when you take a deep breath in, and then breathing out. Okay, and then again, breathing in. Just follow that breath, see where it goes in your body, where you can feel that breath going, where it's moving to in your body, and then breathing out. One more, breathing in and breathing out, just following the breath. Okay, so whereabouts did that breath go? Did it go up here? Did it fill your whole lungs up? Did it feel like it was going into your lower abdomen? Or did it feel like it was going all the way down to your lower abdomen? Okay, and I've got a poll for you. Where did your breath go? There's 4 options. Just like to check in and find out where your breath went. Did it go high in the chest, the whole lungs, upper abdomen, and lower abdomen? Okay, so there we are. That's quite a bit better than we did it before, because you're generally lower. If you remember, we did this a few weeks ago. Most of you had that breath really high in the chest. Okay, so what we want to do today is we're going to use the breath, and I'll give you some. I'm going to use quite a lot of the exercises we've done before, but we're going to focus it and try and get that breath lower in the body, and I'll explain why as we go on. Okay, so now it's time to check into our burners, right? So if you've got your piece of paper, and you can divide it into 3 sections, lower, middle and upper. Okay, I always like this time of the week just to check in and we just find out how we're doing. Okay, so if you just like to first of all just close your eyes for a second and take your attention internally to below the navel and round into the back of the lower back and the hips. Okay. And just get a sense of what is it like there in that lower burner or that lower heater. Okay, got an idea? Okay, we can open our eyes and draw it in the lower box. Okay, so and you can put some words there if you want to remind you what it's like. Very good. Okay, right, here we go. So now we're going up to the middle burner. That's this one here on the middle of the page. Let's do it. Close our eyes again. We're going to go internally again and feel out where your diaphragm is. If you don't know where that is, it's just below the ribs here. And we're looking at this whole area. We're tuning into this whole area here around the back here. Okay, that's the middle burner. And that's where the liver and the stomach are, and a lot of the digestive processes go on there. So let's just tune into that area. Okay, and then we're going to ask ourselves, what is it like? Try and get a picture or a feeling of that middle burner, and then we're going to draw that, see what that's like. And you might remember what it was like last week, and then you can kind of get an idea of what's changed in the last week. Okay, not bad. Good, very good. Okay, so it looks something like this, or whatever yours was like. Okay, very good. So now we've got the upper burner. Tune into that. And that's basically the whole lung area and the heart, obviously as well, and pericardium. So you're looking about this whole upper body area here. So let's just close our eyes again and get a sense of what that's like. Okay, all right. And then when you've got an idea, you can open your eyes and draw it in the upper burner bit. Okay, so just remind you, according to the sages of Chinese medicine, all basically the idea is the lower burner should feel kind of solid and kind of calm. It's the foundation of the body, and it really doesn't want to be really too hot. It wants to be kind of like fairly, good temperature and fairly solid. The middle burn, the main thing about that is you want it to be free. You don't really want any obstruction there. And if you were doing your breathing and you felt your breathing going down, maybe just to the upper abdomen, maybe getting stuck there, it could be because you've got some tension there around the diaphragm or around the middle burner. And again, you don't really want it to be hot either. You don't want to get too hot, which is sometimes what happens with the digestive system. The upper burner should be like a mist, so it should feel kind of like quite spacious, kind of relaxed and open. So bearing that in mind and looking at what you've just drawn, which burner do you think you would like to work on? And then we can get started. Let's have a look. Which one do you think you'd like to work on the most? And we can figure it out what we're going to do in the next hour. Ooh, let's have a look. This is interesting. Wow, this is really interesting. Things are definitely changing. They definitely are changing. And we've got a clear majority for the middle burn this week. Very interesting. Okay, we can fit that together with how you're breathing, and we can do an hour's worth of exercises, and hopefully in about 50 minutes time, you're going to tune into those burners again. You're going to feel your breath coming in, and it's going to be in a much better place than it is now. Okay, good. So let's start. I'll just keep this open, and you can notice we've got the chair in the picture, and that's because we're open again. As you know, we've got the visors, we've got all the sanitizing, and we've got everything. And so you can actually book in with us if you haven't done already, and come back and do a face-to-face session, or a session on the mat if you'd like to. Okay, so here we go. Let's start off by just standing. Okay, so what we're going to try and do today is we're going to try and get these burners sorted out. We're going to try and get that breath down into the abdomen. If you've already got it down there, we're going to secure it even more. And there's different stages we can go to make sure that happens. And the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we can anchor the lower burner into the connection with the earth. So let's just check in now for a second. And what I'd like you to do is just close your eyes for a second, tune in internally again, and let's just do the basic alignment internally. So we're going to release the base of our cranium. We're going to create a bit of space there. And we're going to let that head float up. And we're going to imagine the sacrum hanging down and creating an opening feeling from the top of the head down into the sacrum. Okay. Now what I'd like you to do is tune into your lower burner and see how connected it feels down into the earth. Okay, because what we want to do is we want to anchor that down into the earth so that we can basically secure the breath there as it goes down. There's lots of reasons why that's a good idea, which I'll explain later as we go on. Okay. So we're going to do that in various different ways. What we're going to do is we're going to do the dantian activation thing. We're going to do it with the breath, and we're going to focus our awareness down into the earth through the famous kidney 1 bubbling spring point. Okay, let's try it. Okay, so let's place our hands together and rub them together to get them warm. Very good. Okay, and now we're placing them over the dantian. This is a magical point just below the navel. So you feel where your navel is. You go about 1.5 inches down this area here. Just give you a close-up if you like. So my navel's there. Okay, the top of the pubic bone is here, and the point, the area, the dantian is kind of about there. It's just below the navel, 1.5 inches below the navel. Okay, so we rub our hands together, and this central point of the hand we place over that point, like that. Okay, and now we're going to check in. Okay. And these are the things we're going to look for. We're going to tune in internally, feel that area underneath your hands, and see how connected it feels through your legs and into the earth. And ideally, that wants to feel really, really solid, because that will help bring the breath down. Okay, so let's try that. We're going to rotate here, keeping the arms and the shoulders really relaxed. Okay, and we're going to encourage that breath by just relaxing our breathing and imagining our breath going down through our body and collecting in the lower abdomen. Okay. Now what that means is as you breathe in, this area should feel like it expands. As you breathe out, it contracts in. Okay. Right, so let's just try that breathing in. Okay, and breathing out. In, breathing out. Okay, now you can just imagine that you can feel a connection from the breath all the way down into where we're energizing the lower burner. Okay, take it really nice and easy. You might find that you've got some obstruction as you feel it going down. You might feel a bit blocked there. You can't get the breath down there. Just don't worry about that. Just keep relaxed. Just allow as much connection with the breath as you can down into the lower dantian. Okay? Very good. Okay? So that's stage one, is to try and get the breath connected down there. Okay, you can do this exercise. So I'm just rubbing the bladder 23, it's a kidney point on the back. This is kind of one of the equivalent points to this point on the front. Okay, if you've got stiff shoulders, you can't do it, just keep going with this one and use your imagination to get that breath and energy right through into the lower back here. Okay, so rubbing it. I've got a lot of light coming in through the window today. You can probably see it on the camera there. The whole room is full of light. It's amazing. Okay, so here we go. So that's bringing the breath in, right? So the next bit is to get that breath down into the earth, okay? We can do that with our imagination, directing our mind, directing our breath. So we're going to go back to here again, okay, keeping it really relaxed. Breathing in. Imagine the breath going down into here, okay? And then as you breathe out, you imagine that the energy from the breath goes down through the legs into your feet, okay? So we're going, okay, just imagining it internally moving down into your legs. Okay, not bad, right? Can you just feel it just slightly going down there into your feet? Right, so the next thing we want you to do to give it a super turbo boost is to open up the kidney channel, which is the main channel down into the legs, into kidney 1, and also open up kidney 1 in the feet. And if we get that, done, then it's going to be like really, really good. Okay, so let's shake our arms out and let's open up that kidney channel and the bladder channel in the legs. We can do that, and then we'll just see the difference between how this energy from the breath can connect with the earth. Okay, so let's start off with just doing some tapping. And what we're going to do is we're going to tap down the back of the legs here, which is the bladder channel here. Tapping down the back of the legs, and then what we're going to do is come up the inside of the back of the legs here, from behind the ankle up here. This is the kidney channel that runs deep into the lower abdomen from the feet. So if we open that up, we get more connection with the feet and the yeah, we just do it 3 times. Okay, right, let's check it out, shall we? See what happens. Right, okay, shaking it up. Okay, let's try it again. Circulating. All right, now feel the difference. Okay, can you feel that now? Can you feel a much stronger connection between here and your feet? Okay, and that's because you've opened up, even just those few minutes of opening up that channel really helps. Keep your hips relaxed, keep the knees relaxed, and keep your ankles relaxed. Okay, excellent. So now let's finish off this part by opening up the feet and getting that kidney 1 point activated. Okay, and I'm just going to get the camera up in the air a bit and focus it down on my feet. There we go. Lovely blue futon we've got here. Look, I'll take my socks off so you can see what I'm doing. Right, yeah, let's get the feet really relaxed and we'll get kidney 1 activated, and then we should be really well set to feel that energy going up, the breath going down and the earth energy going up the legs. Okay, that's how they describe it. Grounding, it's all to do with grounding. Okay, so we've done this before, and this is always a good thing to do. Okay, if you need a 5-minute de-stress, you're finding it's all getting too much for you, I recommend you just do a simple routine for your feet, because 5 minutes can really make a difference, especially if it involves opening up the joints, and especially if it involves activating kidney 1, which is what we're going to do now. Take the midline of the foot, okay, 1/3 of the distance down, okay, and that's kidney 1. we're going to activate it by just using some tapping. So can you see what I'm doing? I'm just tapping right on that point there. Okay. Okay, do you want some points that you can try? Okay, so look, if you get find your ankle, go halfway between your ankle and your Achilles tendon, just along the back here. I'll get my foot a bit nearer. That's it. Wow, I've got so much light coming in this room, it's incredible. Right, here we go, there to there. Okay, that's kidney 3, that's a very important point. Try this, if you hold that point with your thumb, okay, and you might feel a sort of opening feeling up the inside of your leg here, and that's the kidney channel that we just did the tapping. So if you hold that point there with your ankle, halfway between the Achilles tendon and the middle of the ankle, so I've got my thumb there, okay? And then if you do this, and tap towards that point, you'll kind of turbocharge that activation of the kidney meridian. It runs from here, up here, and then it goes up through and into the lower abdomen. Okay, excellent. And the other foot. There we are. If you want to find out more about any of these points, you can always Google. There's lots of information on the internet. So if you look up kidney 1 or kidney 3, you'll have a whole load of information about the points. And if you forget where they are, you can just look them up and you'll get all kinds of videos and pictures. Most of them are pretty good. Okay, all right. And now I'm going to press kidney 3. Remember that? That's this one on the inside. So I'm holding that. You can do this, I'll sit on a chair or whatever if you're leaning forwards. Okay, and now I'm working kidney 1 and I'm working up towards kidney 3. Okay. Okay, what this point does, it's supposed to do in Qigong, is it's supposed to give you like a rooting through into the earth. And they use that in martial arts to make themselves like a mountain so no one can push them over and all that kind of thing. And we can use it in daily life because sometimes it's quite nice to feel like a mountain, isn't it? When you're feeling like a bit wobbly and stressed out, maybe everything's going a little bit crazy, and you need to feel that earthing. Give your 5 minutes attention to kidney 1 point, and we'll just see what difference that makes, okay? So cool, let's check that out. I'm gonna push the back down again. Yeah, okay, cool. Right, so now checking in again, all right? Here we go, rubbing our hands, okay? And placing the hands below the dantian. Whoa, can you feel that? Look at that. It feels like a clear pathway all the way down to your feet, doesn't it? All right, and this means we can do this exercise, which is breathing into here and breathing out. Send the energy from the breath through your legs, down through your feet, and imagine it going down, 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 as far as you can into the center of the earth. We're going to activate the dantian at the same time. Okay, so it's breathing in to the lower abdomen, breathing out. Imagine that energy going right down into the center of the earth. Okay. Now you imagine if you just keep practicing that, there's no way anyone's going to be able to move you. Someone can just try and push you over and you'll be like stuck into the earth with your roots right down like a tree, really powerful down into the earth, okay? And the reason that we're doing this is because that will really anchor the breath. There's one thing that can get in the way though, and that is for all of those of you who are middle burner people today, and those of you who did the breath in and found that it kind of got to here. And one of the main reasons that our breath doesn't go down into here is because of obstruction in the middle burner. We know what to do with that. We're going to do the twisting exercise, and we do some other exercises just to open this area up, and then we'll check in again to see whether that improves the breath going down. Okay, so let's do our liver twisting exercise to start with. Head suspended from above, arms relaxed. Nice and solid, isn't it? Real good connection with the earth there, right down into the earth. Really nice, okay? And we're going to twist and we're going to move the energy of that middle burner, nice and easy. Now this depends a bit on how much you feel you need this. If it all feels okay, then you can just leave it like, you know, kind of medium. But if you feel you really need a really good stretch there, you can do this. Okay, and there's various different ways of doing this exercise. You can see what I'm doing now is I'm moving my weight over to the leg that I'm moving to. See what I mean? So I'm going to the left, I'm moving my weight over into the left. Just do that for a bit. So you're shifting your weight. Okay. But we can also keep the hips steady and twist more. And this gives a bit of a stronger twist onto the middle, into the middle burner, doesn't it? Look, you see that? That's it. Okay, it's all nice and relaxed. You want to free up, just let that middle burner go. And if you've got any frustrations or kind of you're feeling frustrated or maybe a little bit irritated with things, that's the favourite places for it to get stuck in the middle burner. So we want to really free that up. Everything is fine. We're just relaxing. Everything's going to be fine. Very good. Okay, do you want to try another variation? Okay, the other variation is you can actually move away from the side that you're moving to, right? So you sink back onto this leg. You sink back onto this leg. Okay, and that gives you a bit more of a twist in the hips. Three main variations. There's this one you sink back. It's the one where you keep your hips steady and twist from the upper body. And there's the one we did at the beginning, which is where you move over towards the foot. Okay, they're all slight variations of the same thing. Okay, very, very good. All right, so let's just check our middle burner now. Let's just give it a bit of a squeeze, feeling round here, around the diaphragm. You know, if you've got any tension there, and it feels a little bit sore when you press in around here, that's because your diaphragm is probably a little bit tight. It's very, very common for that to happen. We can release that directly using the liver and gallbladder channels in the leg. So why don't we do that? I think that's a really good idea for those middle burner people. So we're going to tap down the outside of the leg. This is the gallbladder channel. Tap down the outside of the legs, right down the outside. We're going to tap up the inside, right up the inside of the legs. We'll do that 3 times. Inside, and the outside, the inside, just straight up the inside of the legs. Very good. Okay, brushing off. Okay, and the other reason why it can be a bit tight here is because related to the stomach can get tight with anxiety and worry, so we want to release that. We don't want any of that. We can do that with the front meridians here, okay? So we go down the front of the body, give you a bit of a close-up. If you feel the front of your legs and go slightly to the outside, that's the stomach channel, and that links directly up into this middle burner. Right, so we're just going to tap down the outside front of the legs. Remember this point, stomach 36, the 3 mile point, just on the outside of the shins there. We go down, outside legs, and up the inside. Yeah, down the outside front of the legs. up the inside. Outside the legs, up the inside. Very good. Okay, brushing off. Okay, so now let's check in against that middle burner. Let's feel it again. Feel a little bit less tense. Very good. And a little bit more open here. That's really, really good. Okay, that's what the kind of thing we really need to have happen. Let's just check in again now and see if that helps the breath coming down. What I'd like you to do is, with me, is hold here, get that rooting again down into the earth. A really good solid feeling of rooting. Go internally with your mind, tune in, you might want to close your eyes. And then feel the breath coming in. Just notice how easily it passes through the middle burner and gets to your hands here. Okay, so breathing out. Relax the middle burner, breathe in. Feel that breath coming in. Okay, very good. Okay, so we're starting to get the breath much lower. We've got really solid grounding. We're starting to open up that middle burner here. So now it's time to start integrating it all together, and we'll do a little bit of work on the upper burner, and then we'll see what effect that has. Okay, in Chinese medicine, what they say is the lungs send the qi down, or the qi down the body, and the lower burner, or the kidney qi, grasps the qi. So they've got this image of this strong area here holding the breath down. And you can see that in normal life, because as soon as we get stressed, the tendency of the breath to rise up like that. And the more stress we get, the more we kind of raise up the breathing, and we get away from that grounding, we start wobbling about, okay? And that's the opposite of what we're doing here, which is bringing the breath in, connecting with the earth, relaxing the upper body. So let's help those lungs send that qi down to the lower burner, okay? Let's do a nice lung stretch. I'm going to breathe in, just like a kind of yawn, breathing in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, and breathe out. Okay, very good. So let's do this lung swinging exercise. But today what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can actually feel that energy from the lungs descending down into the lower burner. Right, so you want to do it with me? So we're going to bring the thumbs up and out, drop the arms back. Okay. Now, as we're doing that, we're becoming aware of our alignment. So we're releasing the base of the cranium again, letting the head float up, letting the sacrum hang down. That's it. Okay, now we're keeping the breathing nice and slow, not in time with the arms. Breathing in and breathing out. What I'd like you to do now is, as we're breathing out, I want you to imagine that the lungs here are sending the breath down here, okay? So this is the other side of the whole story with the breath. This is taking the lungs, qi, and sending it down, all right? And this movement here opens the lungs out, and it tends to encourage the qi to go down the body, the qi to go down from the upper body into the dantian. So let's try that, okay? Okay, so you can always imagine it like it's a sort of kind of like a pump pushing the air down. So we're going breathing in, and as we're going back, gently pressing the air down through the body into the dantian. Okay, now middle burner people, just make sure that that middle burner is nice and open. So if you're getting this feeling like, and it's kind of going, it's like here, then you just want to gently open this up as we breathe in and out, okay? So you need to focus, just focusing on the place where you feel you most need it. Lower burner people, you may want to fix your attention here just to encourage that going down. Upper burner people, make sure that you bring your awareness here and send that breath out, okay? So just pick whichever one of those three things you most need. Relaxing the middle burner, focusing on the lower burner, or if you're an upper burner person, sending the chi down from the upper burner, okay? And then we'll all get there together within the next 5 minutes, okay? So keeping that alignment, relaxing the hips, keeping the knees open, the ankles open, get that grounding. Can you feel that still there? Isn't that real solid rooting into the earth? Okay. So the breaths are breathing in, breathing out, sending the chi from the breath down into the lower burner. This time we're pumping it down, or just gently pressing it down with this exercise, encouraging it to float down the body, down into the lower burner. Awesome stuff. That's brilliant. Okay, nice and easy. Really, really easy. Okay, just give you a little bit of a close-up what I'm doing with my thumbs, bring them out. Okay, very good. And just let your arms go to the side. Okay, and then we're just going to check in again. Let's just check in with that lower heater. We're going to rub our hands together. We're going to place our hands on the dantian again, relaxing our hips, keeping that, keeping the legs really open and relaxed, keeping kidney 1 open, and we're sending our awareness down deep into the earth, deep into the earth. It's a great feeling, isn't it? We're going to build on that and keep going with that. The next thing we can do is we just want to calm the pericardium and the heart, just calm them a little bit before we go on to some more exercises with the breathing and the spine. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do this exercise now. This is a pericardium channel. It directly links in with the heart. And we're going to breathe in. We're going to breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, this is for anyone who's feeling a bit stressed or very stressed, and anyone who's an upper burner person particularly. You need to really go to just calming that pericardium down, calming the heart down. Breathing in. Okay, and now we're going to do the heart stretch. Remember this prayer position, breathing in, stretching our arms up and behind us, and breathing in, opening up the armpits and relaxing the chest as we just gently press the fingertips back. Very good, and then down and down. Okay, great. Would you like some points? I'll show you some points. This is a really good point for calming the heart. So if you get palpitations or just general anxiety during the day, I'm going to try this point here on the hand. It's between the first and second finger here. Okay, pressing in. Okay, you can feel the sensation going all the way up the arm, keeping it nice and relaxed. Okay, and then here, same thing. It's almost in the center of the hand, just slightly to the first finger there. Okay. Okay, and if you gently press that, The way to do it is to just really relax and imagine a connection from this point all the way up into the chest area. And that's a very, very calming acupuncture point. Very useful for calming the pericardium and the upper body. Okay, great. Okay. So now what we can do is we can do some work on the spine, on the head, neck and spine to finish off. The reason for that is because we need to get the spine nice and connected in order to feel that connection between upper and lower body. Okay, so let's do that together. We're going to start by working the face, nice face routine, rubbing your hands together. Okay, and I'm going to go over some of the channels on the head, all the yang channels that go down outside of the arms and down the back into the feet. They all come up and they connect in the head. That's why headaches, neck stiffness, eye problems and things like that are often related with obstructions and stress. So it's a good idea for us to clear those channels out, down through the neck and then down through the body. Once we've opened this area here, we can improve our alignment and can regulate the whole way we feel about having a head stuck on top of our neck. Okay, so here we go. Look, here's the bladder channel. We're just going to follow that. It goes right over the top of your head. So it goes here, over the top. It starts actually here. So if you just gently press in here. Okay, and then gently pressing like this over the top of the head. And it runs like this, just along the midpoint of the, just to the midline, just from the midline of the head, slightly out, kind of in line with this frontal thing, goes just over the top of the head there. Okay, and it comes back down over the head. And if you feel your neck here, you can feel there's like two bands of muscle. That's the top of the trapezius muscle that go up into the neck here. So if you feel along the center of your spine and then slightly out, you can feel there's two muscles there. Just to the outside of those muscles here, we have bladder 10, which is a really, really good point, opening up the whole of the neck. And it opens up the whole back. So it's really worth working. A good way to work it is to take your thumbs like this and press them in towards the spine, either side of that muscle there. So quite close to the center of the spine, directly in, and you know you've got it because you'll feel a sensation all the way down your spine. What we can do with this is just gently press in, imagine your head floating up, and see if you can feel a connection all the way down into your sacrum. And if you can, you've got the point right on, okay? Bladder 10, and then the channel runs down the neck and then all the way down the whole back, down to the feet. It's the longest channel in the body. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm using my heels of my hand and I'm working just to the outside of that trapezius muscle there. Working the bladder channel, okay? Excellent. So now let's do some more. We've got two channels that run from the side of the eyes that go right down the sides of the body. This is very good for eye strain, things like that. If you rub your hands together, place your hands over your palms over your eyes and relax your eyes. It's a really relaxing thing to do. And then we can press gently around the sides of the head. Okay, and we're just going to keep going around the sides of the head here, pressing the temples. It's very good for headaches on the sides of the head, for eye strain, things like that. And there's another really, really good point on the back of the neck that I'd like to show you, which is a really great first aid point for eye strain. And where it is it's further out than the bladder 10. It's right in here. It's gallbladder 20. It's in a much bigger indentation. And the angle is not so much in like this, like we did with bladder 10, it's more up towards the opposite eye. And we can press it by placing our thumb right there, tipping the head slightly back, and then pressing gently in towards the opposite eye. And if you can feel a kind of pressure behind your eyeballs, you know you've got it, okay? And again, the same thing, relaxing, see if you can feel a connection between your eyes all the way down the neck and down into the lower part of your body. Okay, should we try that? Let's start with the breath. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. Fantastic. Okay, good. Now from there, running down there, we have the gallbladder channel, which we can press with the heels of the hands. Now you remember when we did our legs, when we were working on the middle burner, we did that, the gallbladder channel down the outside of the legs. Well, that's where it goes. It goes all the way down the side of the body, down into the feet. It's another very long channel, connects the feet to the head. And that's why when we're treating headaches with Shiatsu, we often work down the legs and down into the feet, work the other end of the channel. Okay, great. So that's the top of the head. That's just the sides. And now we've got the front of the head face. Okay, and there's some points all around here that are used for sinus problems, breathing problems. And this is where the breathing comes in again, because this point here is used for helping the breathing. It's just either side of the nose here. Okay, just give it a bit of a close up. Okay, it's right there. Large intestine 20. You probably find just pressing it kind of clears your sinuses and clears your nose. Right, so then we go along. Fingertips along the top of the cheekbones, and then right underneath here. Go underneath here, you can't really miss it. I'm following it from here round. Right underneath here is a really important point for sinus problems, eye problems, and stuff like that. Okay, that's the stomach 3. That is directly in line with the eye and underneath the cheekbones and up and in. Okay, very good. We get round to the ear. Now, if you follow your cheekbones round, just before you get to the ear, you'll feel an indentation right here. And you know you've got it because if you open your jaw and close your jaw, you can feel it kind of wiggling, and there's a kind of indentation happening there. That's another acupuncture point that's used for jaw problems, clenching teeth and things like that. Okay, and that's another really good point. We can just press that in, press in there. You got it? That's it. Okay, and then we can work around the teeth, around the gums here, around the lower gums. Okay, and then thumbs underneath the jaw here. And this actually connects directly with the tongue. There's some channel right there that we use sometimes for treating the speech, right underneath here. Okay, really good. All right, and then we're just going to pull the ears gently downwards. Just pulling round the ears. Okay, great. So that's the top, the sides, and the front of the face. And you're probably wondering now, where do those channels go on the neck? Because we've done the back, haven't we? Done the sides here. Okay, and the answer is along the front of the SCM muscle here. So if you get tightness along this SCM muscle, it's usually to do with these channels from the front of the face. Now we can work it ourselves by using, I like to do it with this technique here, where you press your fingers along the front of the SCM muscle, and then your thumb, you can see that, squeezing along the back. So you're kind of gripping hold of the SCM muscle. That's this big muscle here, you can't miss it, that goes down here. Sternocleidomastoid muscle. It's one of the main muscles for rotating and controlling the head and the neck. And it's a really good idea to keep it relaxed. You don't really want this to get really tense, which often happens when you get a lot of anxiety. It kind of gets tense, and again, it can constrict breathing. So we want to really relax this here, relaxing the SCM muscle. Very good. Okay, so that's a really good workout for the head and for the neck. I bet if you just tune into your head now, you'll feel your eyes feel kind of brighter, everything's more open, the jaw feels relaxed, and your neck should feel kind of amazing, kind of balanced more on your body. And that's really important to get all those different channels relaxed. So next thing is just do a little bit of work on the shoulders. If you've got someone you're sharing this exercise class with, you can get them to work on your back. That's nice. You can do it like in pairs. If you're on your own, that's fine too, because I am. You can do it with me. Okay, so let's do some work on the shoulders. You can tap like this. I'll give you a close-up. Tap like this. You might want to support your elbow. This area is very important because the channels from the neck come down into they come down and they come into the shoulder. You go like this. Let's get those shoulders nice and loose. And then we can do this one. Remember this, shaking down. Just let your shoulders go. Okay, shaking them out. Excellent. Okay, so now it's the difficult bit because it's the back. So we can go down as far as we can this way. And if you've got somebody working with, that you're sharing the exercise class with, you can work down each other's back like this, using percussion, like this, size of the hands. If not, if you're doing it on your own, that's fine. We're just going to do it with tapping. Okay, and then the next thing is how far up can you reach behind you to continue the work. It's difficult to get to this bit here, isn't it? You need to be pretty flexible. Okay. Yeah, so go as high as we can. Going down. And then it gets down into the feet. Okay, great. So let's just open the spine up with a very simple breathing exercise and stretching exercise. Okay, try this one. So keeping your alignment. Okay, we're going to raise the arms up, breathe in. We're going to breathe out, and we're going to gently stretch back, lifting the head, stretching the back very, very gently backwards on the out breath. Breathing in. And then breathing out, and we're going to float down as if you're floating down through liquid. Now, as you float down, let that back go, release the spine. Anywhere where it's holding, just let it go. Okay, breathing in. Breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out, floating down. Breathing in. Okay, the breath is bringing us up, and as we breathe out, we float the head up and stretch back very gently, just opening up the spine. Okay, breathing in. And floating down, floating down. Okay, very good. Okay, now if we just hang down, what you can feel is you can feel the breath just allowing the head to go down. And we're breathing into the spine and just letting the spine open up. So any areas of tension along the spine, you can just let it go with the breath. Okay, and then we're going to uncurl, slowly uncurl, straightening up the pelvis first, and then slowly, slowly, slowly uncurling, breathing into any areas of stiffness in the back. And particularly when you get to the mid-back, you want to make sure that that's open, because that's where the diaphragm is connected all the way through. Okay, so just slowly move that. As you move up, just slowly move up. and just see if there's any areas where your spine feels blocked, and just relax it as you go up. Okay, excellent. Well, it's time to check in and see how we've done this week. Okay, now remember, the main theme was to really feel totally grounded into the earth. The second theme we're working on is getting that breath, any tendency for the breath to go up. Okay, and the other thing was obviously release any part of our body, integrate the spine to make that breath settle in the dantian. So let's check in and see how we've done. Rub our hands together, place them onto the abdomen, lower abdomen again, into the hara. Okay, so now let's just tune into our legs. Okay. They should feel nice and open and relaxed, soles of the feet connected to the earth, and it should be easy for us to think down through our legs into the earth and give us that feeling of being like a mountain stuck to the earth, okay, stable and relaxed and rooted down. Okay, very good. Okay, so now I'm going to check in. Just want you to check in to see how your burners feel. Remember what they were like an hour ago, so we're going to just tune into the lower burner. That should feel the most solid really, and the most connected of the three burners. Okay, the middle burner should feel kind of relaxed and flexible. Okay, and the upper burner, particularly this week, is what we're looking for, it sending the breath down. Now, if we align ourselves and float our head up, all that work we did on the head and neck should make us feel really free, pelvis nice and relaxed, sacrum hanging down, okay? And now let's check out the breathing. So what I'd like to do now is we're going to do 3 deep breaths, and we're going to follow the breath as it comes in, okay? So you're going to breathe in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. Okay, very good. Did you notice how different it was? Very, very easy for the breath to come down here, this feeling of connection with the earth. Okay, excellent stuff. Okay, and that's really going to help us going through this week, just keeping ourselves down to that green zone. Okay, brilliant. So it's just time just to do the final poll. Let's find out how you feel now. So compared to how you felt an hour ago, do you feel generally more balanced, about the same, or less balanced in the case of releasing stuff? It does happen every now and then. We'll get to some emotional stuff or something that's blocked in our body, and we can feel a kind of release there. But let's see if we've got anyone. Okay, excellent. Okay, so most of you feel pretty much more balanced, and just one or two about the same. Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much for tuning in. And just to remind you, the Shiatsu Centre is open. We do have reduced capacity, but unfortunately, because we have to do all the cleaning, which is a good thing because we sanitize the whole centre between every visit. And also everything is completely changed, so there's no chance of any cross-infection. We wear visors, but we are also continuing to do distance sessions, and we continue to do self-shiatsu support for those of you who don't want to come in. I know that some of the more vulnerable clients still don't want to come into the centre, or actually some of them prefer to stay at home, and who can blame them, right? And so that's fine. And we are still working as a collective. We're still sharing all the money because we're not out of the woods yet. And these classes really help us, because what they do is they help us keep the rent of the place going. And it means that we can take clients in at a reduced capacity, and we haven't had to put our prices up or anything. We're keeping the prices the same for those of you who come in. And those of you who are doing distance sessions, we're still maintaining that as a donations basis. Okay, so that's where we're at. Thanks again for tuning in. Again, tell all your friends to tune in or to log on to the class if you'd like them to join. And yeah, I don't know if Kat's going to come and say bye-bye to everyone with a video link, if you're there, Kat. Oh, she's got headphones on. Okay, thank you so much then for doing the chat. And yeah, we'll see you all next Wednesday. Okay, going to keep the classes going through the summer, so don't worry. Same time, same place. We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Okay.